The Bureau of Land Management, Division of Education, Interpretation, and Partnership presents live from Washington, D.C. and around the country the 2014 BLM Making a Difference National Volunteer Awards. And now, your moderator for today, Marlo Draper.
Hello everyone from across BLM and welcome to the 2014 National Volunteer Awards Ceremony. I'm Marlo Draper with the BLM National Training Center. I'll be your moderator for today's event. We're excited that we can connect so many Bureau offices today by video conference to acknowledge the extraordinary contribution our volunteers have been making. First, let's go to the main interior building in Washington, D.C. and Chris McAleer, Deputy Assistant Director for NLCS and Community Partnerships. Hello, Chris.
Good afternoon to some of you, and certainly good morning to others, some as far away as Alaska, and a warm welcome to everybody. I'm Chris McAleer. I'm the Deputy Assistant Director for BLM's National Conservation Lands and Community Partnerships. I'm very happy to welcome you all to BLM's 19th Annual National Volunteer Award Ceremony. Last year was the first time we conducted the ceremony by video conference, and everything went beautifully. And hopefully it will continue that way this year. As we honor our award winners today, we are pleased to be joined by video conference from 7 states across the nation. BLM managers, staff, friends, and family are on hand at these offices to recognize and cheer award winners for their state. Here in DC, we're honored to have BLM Director Neil Cornsey and another special guest, our newly confirmed Assistant Secretary for Land and Minerals Management, Janice Schneider. Many other well-wishers are also in DC here, BLM's executive leadership team and several BLM national program leads. All are here today to support the BLM volunteer program and to celebrate our very special award winners. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize Mary Tisdale and her staff, the Division of Education, Interpretation, and Partnerships for their overall coordination of the annual BLM Volunteer Awards program and ceremony. A special thank you goes to this year's award program judges. We have Anda Wadhams, who is with the National Education Foundation, Carol Spurrier, who is the ecologist with BLM's Division of Forest, Rangeland, Riparian, and Plant Conservation, Tina McDonald, BLM Accessibility Coordinator with our Division of Visitor Services, Scott Richardson, Education Specialist with our Division of Education, Interpretation, and Partnerships, and finally Linda Cheney, BLM's National Volunteer Program Lead. Before we go any further, we'll just take a moment to watch a video which will show us some highlights from last year's program. All right, those are some great highlights. And now it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce our new Assistant Secretary for Land and Minerals Management, Janice.
Chris, thank you very much. It's great to be here. As your new Assistant Secretary, I'm delighted to join you for the ceremony today. It's been 14 years since I was last privileged to have the opportunity to serve with the department and I'm amazed at the growth in the department's volunteer workforce over this period. As we all know, volunteers play an invaluable role in supporting the missions of our agencies, and as the nation's largest land manager, BLM has been particularly impressive from my perspective in engaging volunteers in the stewardship of our public lands. Today's event offers us a great opportunity to learn more of the many ways that BLM volunteers are making outstanding contributions. I'd like to congratulate and thank each of the honorees and their families today, and all of our volunteers across the country, and to thank you all for including me in this wonderful occasion on particularly short notice. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the BLM Director, Neil Cornsey. Neil has been a true champion of community engagement in the BLM land management efforts. Nowhere has it been more evident in BLM's volunteer program and his support for BLM volunteers and their efforts. And of course, he's working alongside all of the volunteers on National Public Lands Day. Neil is usually out in the field with community members, getting down and dirty to enhance our natural and cultural resources. So bottom line, he's the real deal. Let me turn it over to you, Neil. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Appreciate it. Janice, I appreciate the very kind remarks. I want to share the welcome to all the great folks across the nation who have come together to join us today for this excellent annual celebration, which is really an honor for all of us that work here at the Bureau of Land Management. Since these awards have been initiated, more than 150 different groups, organizations, and individuals have been honored. And these are the people that make our work possible every day. I'm so proud to be part of a team of 10,000 people that work incredibly hard to serve the American people. But we know that our reach is only so far, and it's the folks who are the volunteers, the community members, that allow us to extend our reach to its maximum potential, and it means the world to us. So the Bureau of Land Management, many of us live and breathe it every day, but I think it's worth noting that we manage 245 million acres of land in the country, just on the surface. So that equates to about 11% of the nation's surface. We also manage 30% of the subsurface. So these are extraordinary responsibilities. And we do that as the largest of the nation's natural resource agencies in terms of responsibility. We do it with the most complex mission, multiple use and sustained yield. But at the same time, we have the smallest number of employees of any of those large agencies and the smallest budget. And so these volunteer efforts make all the difference to us and make the difference to our programs on the ground. It's a huge job, and we're proud to do it as a team and a family. So in 2013, I'm proud to tell you that more than 30,000 volunteers contributed their time to Bureau of Land Management projects and efforts, and that equated to 1.15 million hours of service, which when you compute it out, that becomes about $26 million in value that people gave to the country and to this agency, to the public lands. Huge moment that I think is worth pausing and reflecting on and honoring and thanking this great representative of those volunteers. Some that we're honoring today have spent much of their lives in service and have, in effect, decided to take a second career in public service in their work with the Bureau of Land Management. We thank them. So I'll say in closing that we couldn't ask for better ambassadors for our agency. These volunteers help us live up to our goals, and we thank them and should frankly thank them every day that we can for their selfless service and the valuable contributions they make. And I have had the personal honor recently to visit with some of our great volunteers, one at the San Pedro Riparian National Conservation Area. We've got some great folks that make that conservation unit possible, and just had a tremendous time with them. I believe it was in February. Talked to them about the challenges and the friends group that's there and the work that they make possible. And then just last week, we were all really excited when the president decided to protect Organ Mountain's Desert Peak National Monument. And the secretary and I traveled out to New Mexico to help celebrate that and really initiate it on the ground last Friday. And we spent the morning in the Oregon Mountains. And the highlight of that entire day was spending about a half an hour at the local visitor center with two couples that are full-time stewards of that area and have been doing it for years and couldn't be happier. And I was sitting there thinking that if I'm lucky enough, someday I'll be able to talk my wife into becoming camp hosts somewhere in the West, and then that might be some of the ways that we'll spend our later years. So it's great to be here with all of you today, and I think right now we have the pleasure of hearing from Secretary Sally Jewell in a prepared video that she's done for us.
Hi everybody, it's great to be with you today to honor some spectacular volunteers who've made a huge difference in the Bureau of Land Management over the course of the last year. You know, these individuals that we're honoring today have done an amazing array of things that have provided really a margin of excellence on our BLM lands that we could just never have done without them. Done things like monitor native plants and animals. They've welcomed campers and established trails and fixed up trails and improved that recreational experience. They've worked with students to mentor them, to put careers on the map that these students may never have heard about before. They've even rescued historical records so that we can keep them for the benefit of everyone in the future. And in every turn, volunteers have stretched the limited resources that we have to help the BLM do the job that the American people expect of us. There isn't one of these volunteers that has a job that's too small, whether it's picking up trash or deep cleaning those places that no one sees and just taking care of the little things that need to be done. Because these people we honor today are leaders in volunteerism. They don't just do it themselves, they recruit others, they organize, they educate visitors on sustainable use and ethical use of public lands, and all of those are gifts that keep on giving. They keep on giving because people recognize how to use these lands, so they require less resources. They become volunteers themselves, and it just builds on itself. So I just want to say that volunteers make a huge difference to the BLM in every dimension. And as we look to the future and we think, how are we going to have a BLM for the future, we need young people engaged. And I just want to acknowledge that the volunteers we honor today and the staff that work at the BLM are engaging that next generation. First thing, just getting them outside to enjoy and play in the outdoors, but also using my favorite classroom, which is the one with no walls, so that these students can learn. And they themselves will become volunteers, and maybe a few of them will come and work for the BLM as land managers, as scientists, as law enforcement folks, and as conservationists. Volunteer efforts are critical to our responsibilities. They help us leave our land, water, and wildlife better for future generations, and I know we all aspire to this. So today we honor the best of the best among our volunteers who are leading a way and making a big difference. So I just want to thank you for the places you've helped care for, the people that you've touched, and we all take inspiration from you and honor your service. Thank you so much.
I think you can see from the remarks that we heard both from the Assistant Secretary, Janet Schneider, who's providing great leadership for this department, as well as the Secretary herself, that this commitment to volunteer service and to honoring and celebrating that work goes all the way to the top. So it's very exciting for all of us. And to all of our awardees today, I'd want to extend my personal thanks. It's very special work that you do. It's very special for us to get to work with you. And I look forward to seeing all the tributes to you today. And we're going to send it back to Marlo in Phoenix.
Thanks to everyone in Washington, D.C. for kicking things off. We're heading up to Anchorage, Alaska, where Associate State Director Ted Murphy is with our first award winners. Ted?
Thank you, Marlo. It's my pleasure today to be sitting with two people who truly exemplify the volunteer spirit and how important that spirit is to BLM Alaska. Here with me today are Berna Pratt, BLM Alaska's Lifetime Achievement Award winner, and Mark Kreider, Alaska's Youth Award winner. Let's start with Berna, all right? I'm going to say some things, okay?
Okay.
All right. The BLM has no stronger advocate for Alaska's native plants than our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Berna Pratt. For more than 20 years, Verna has helped identify and inventory both native and non-native species on the Campbell Tract, including leading the first inventory of plants on the Campbell Tract in 1993, which is still used today. She's advised BLM on which native plant species to use for revegetation projects, mentored many others, volunteers, as well as volunteers in their plant-related service projects, and she helped educate countless people about the importance of native plants and how to grow them. Most importantly, Verna has been instrumental for over 20 years in turning a newly constructed Campbell Creek Science Center in 1996 from a building surrounded by construction-grade soil and fields of weeds into thriving gardens that showcase Alaska's native wildflowers and impress more than 40,000 annual education visitors to the Science Center and over 150,000 annual recreation visitors to the Campbell Creek Center. Verna is the author of several field guides to Alaska's native plants and an expert in Alaska wildflowers. She is in high demand, especially in the summer, for her expertise and to educate Alaskans statewide. Yet she has always found time to provide the BLM with her expertise and to volunteer countless hours to make Campbell Creek Science Center one of the premier places where visitors can learn about and enjoy the plant life of Alaska. We are honored to count Verna Pratt as an individual member and an invaluable member of the BLM Alaska family, not only an on-call expert, but as a friend, mentor, and moral supporter as well. We are very proud to present her with the BLM's National Making a Difference Lifetime Achievement Award. And Verna, you would like to say some things?
Well, I would like to thank whoever submitted my name from BLM. It is a great honor, but I feel what I did was just kind of an extended circumstances from how I grew up. I grew up in farm country, a big family and a small farm. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy weeding the gardens, even after doing it for years. It never seems like work, and it's not the kind of thing I tended to avoid, such as dusting and doing dishes. I would much rather be outside doing whatever I can in nature.
Well, thank you. And we have these special plaques for you as well. Yeah. Beautiful picture in the bottom, huh?
Yeah, beautiful. I've seen that before.
You've seen that before?
Wow.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to Mark Kreider. We're very proud to present the first ever Making a Difference Youth Award to Mark Kreider. Mark came to the Anchorage District as a volunteer through the Mennonite Service Adventure Program in the late summer of 2013, having never been to Alaska. Straight from Kansas. So he serves primarily as a maintenance technician with the Anchorage District Facilities Branch, working on a variety of facilities and landscaping projects in all weather conditions and situations. He's worked in every area of the maintenance service, from repairing mowers to maintaining and using snow removal equipment, a first for Mark, trail work, and inventories in the maintenance shop. He always seems to find a way to pitch in on any task or project, including teaching hundreds of kids how to pan for gold during this year's Outdoor Week. Mark was instrumental in helping to prepare for the Iditarod ceremonial start on the Campbell Tract, and has also demonstrated excellent innovation and problem-solving skills, identified areas where he could use his well-developed computer skills to help streamline several maintenance processes, including creating a material safety data sheet database for all the maintenance shops at the Campbell Tract. Serving over 1,000 hours of time over the last year, Mark has demonstrated a range of work skills, work ethic, and a sense of responsibility far beyond his years. He truly sets the example for quality of service that BLM so highly values. His volunteer supervisor, Nathan Rathbun, states that he has never worked with a more motivated, clever, and hardworking individual in his 40-year career. We know that this young man will be an invaluable and admirable representative of the public lands and the BLM's work ethic wherever he goes. I'm proud to present Mark Kreider with the first annual National Making a Difference Youth Award. I'll give you yours as well, Mark.
Yes, I'd like to thank my supervisors at BLM, out at Campbell Tract, and especially Nathan Rathbun for their support this year, for allowing me to have a great experience volunteering with BLM. Also the BLM for allowing me to have so many great opportunities, both in learning new skills and being able to test those skills out in a very practical way, and to seeing all the beauty of Alaska that BLM is fortunate to manage. So I'm grateful for this time here, and grateful for the many skills and experiences that will serve me well in later years. Just have to thank BLM for this great experience I've had.
Thanks again to Verna and Mark for all you do for the BLM and for the visitors to our public lands as well. Thank you so much, and now we'll send it back to Marlo.
Thanks, Ted, and congratulations to Mark and Verna on their awards. It's very exciting to see our seniors as well as our youth engaged in natural resources and volunteer work. Next up is Arizona, where State Director Ray Suazo is with our next award winner. Take it away, Ray.
It's my great pleasure to be here with Stan Shaw today and his wife Judy and all of our great workforce here in Arizona to take a moment to celebrate, the great accomplishments and the value of volunteer work in BLM. Among the 80-plus volunteers in the BLM Yuma field office, Stan Shaw and his wife Judy began volunteering in 2007, first as seasonal volunteers, then as year-round participants. Stan soon identified components of the field office recreation program which he believed could benefit from targeted attention. He offered to take on additional responsibilities with special emphasis on office-wide and including public and employee safety aspects. Stan's efforts immediately began to pay dividends and show results for the public land, for fellow visitors, and for the very people that visit this great BLM public land that we are entrusted to. Stan helped to correct several safety, health, and environmental deficiencies at the La Posa long-term visitor area and created an improved look for the LTVA contact stations. He also improved the operation of many of the LTVA campgrounds, the infrastructure components and facilities. He improved the quality and safety of the public's recreation experience. And I understand he is extremely crafty and can pretty much, fix things and make things work, and really represents the BLM well when meeting with the public. During the past year, Stan also worked with the BLM park rangers and law enforcement personnel to clear numerous abandoned vehicles and several tons of litter from our public lands. Additionally, he helped our Colorado River District fire prevention staff construct public advisory signs which provide information on current wildland fire conditions throughout the area. Another one of Stan's very notable achievements was his implementation of green energy approach at each of our contact stations, paying attention to things like efficient light bulbs and making sure that we're taking a green approach to our LTVAs and the very resources that we protect. Over the years, Stan's volunteer service has played a critical role in the day-to-day management, suppressing the cost of recreation and the operation of one of BLM's largest recreation fee programs. It is our estimate that the work he has saved in the Yuma field office alone is in the neighborhood of $65,000 to date. You know, in talking to the field office and Bill Alexander earlier this morning, and, you know, when he did the submission for Stan, he mentioned to me that because of the limitations of the submission, he was only really able to put about 1/10 of the real amount of things that Stan does for the field office. And so you get a sense of the enormity of, you know, his commitment and the service that he provides to us here in BLM. And as I spoke with Stan earlier this morning, I was impressed by, you know, his commitment to public land and his desire and love of, you know, being a volunteer and being a public land steward. I spoke also earlier with his wife, Judy, and she mentioned to me that Stan really doesn't take time to sit down. In fact, he doesn't like to sit very long. And so with that in mind, Stan, I'm going to ask you to stand with me while I present this award.
Okay.
And so this award is signed by our director, Neil Cornsey. And it's my great pleasure, Stan, to present to you on behalf of the BLM and Arizona 2014 National Volunteer Award to Stan Shaw for making a difference on public lands. And Neil mentioned earlier that, you know, heartfelt, you know, thank you, you know, in talking with you and understanding the passion that you have for the work that you do. I also felt it in the heart, and I feel very fortunate that you're a volunteer here in Arizona, and thank you for your commitment and your service.
Thank you. I'd just like to say thank you to the BLM and Yuma Field Office for considering me for this award. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much, and Marlo, back to you.
Thanks, Ray, and thanks to Stan as well. Great job. Now we're going to head to Colorado and our newest state director, Ruth Welch, who is standing by with a very special presentation. Ruth?
Thank you, Marlo. Yes, I'm here with Linda Hess. She is going to accept the award on behalf of Mark Hess and his significant contributions that he's made to the Bureau of Land Management over several decades. And so it's my pleasure to present this Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm also here with Mark's mother, Florence Hess, his sister, Anne, and his sister Maria, and her daughter Juliet. So we have quite a gathering here in Colorado today, as well as some members of the foundation that Mark put together, and Jill Ozarski from Senator Udall's office. So we have quite the party here. So I'm just so happy to be here today to be able to present this award to Linda. Thank you. Yes, Julie. And you know, Mark was just such a visionary leader and a volunteer and a stewardship of the public lands. I'm just sorry that I didn't have the opportunity to meet him personally. He worked with the Canyon City field office on several climbing areas, the Shelf Road climbing area and the Penitente Canyon area outside of Canyon City, Colorado. He was also the founder of the Rocky Mountain Field Institute, also known as RMFI, and so we have two representatives here from RMFI, Elizabeth Nickel and Carol Campbell. RMFI did an amazing amount of work in support of the BLM, about 16,000 volunteers for the total of something like 200,000 hours, and a savings on some restoration projects, or actually a benefit to the BLM on some restoration projects of around $4 million. So a huge amount of work that your organization has done. So thank you both very much for coming, and to Mark for his visionary look at how we can take care of the public lands and his stewardship beliefs. Many of the projects he worked on had to do with individual projects involving youth and young adults, and he was very committed to mentoring and bringing folks in who recreated on the public lands and getting them involved in stewardship projects. That's one of our priorities in the BLM and the department, is to have youth involved in what we're doing, so that, as Secretary Jewell said, we can hopefully grow them up and into a world of conservation efforts. And even after Mark retired from REMPE, he actually served on our RAC in our Front Range district, and so we are so happy that he had the opportunity to do that and was still very involved in what was happening in the REMPE organization. So on the behalf of the BLM Colorado, I am just so thrilled to be able to present this to Julie in recognition of Mark's significant contributions. And again, congratulations to you and your family for all that he did. We are just so grateful. Thank you so much. Many of you who didn't have the pleasure to meet Mark, I just wanted to share that unfortunately he passed away in January of 2014, and so that's why I'm here to receive this honor, and I'm going to send it home with his 90-year-old mother and let you enjoy it, Grammy, and then it will make its way up to Mark and my new home in Boulder. We just moved there in June. And Mark has a beautiful studio downstairs, and it's full of other awards and petrified rocks and feathers from the Amazon, and you know, Mark, skulls, lots of skulls. So it will come back to us. But I wanted to also mention our daughters, Hartley, who's in Wellington, New Zealand, working and traveling, and about to study school there, and our other daughter, Laurel, who lives now in Jackson, Wyoming, working and studying and traveling and getting up in those Tetons. And Mark's three brothers who couldn't be here, John, who lives in Montana, and Phil is in Idaho, and Paul is in Washington, D.C. So on behalf of everybody, thank you all so much, and I wanted to send a special thank you to our Colorado Senator Mark Udall. I got a hand-delivered letter from him this morning, and that means the world to us. Mark Udall and Mark Hess and I go a long way back with Colorado Outward Bound School, running courses together. And I would just love to leave you with a quote from Edward Abbey that really expresses Mark's feelings very well. I kind of like to think of Mark hanging out with Edward Abbey in the great beyond. So, may your trails be crooked, winding, lonesome, dangerous, leading to the most amazing view. May your rivers flow without end, meandering through pastoral valleys, tinkling with bells, past temples and castles and poets' towers into a dark, primeval forest, where tigers belch and monkeys howl, through a miasmal and mysterious swamps, and down into a desert of red rock, as lightning clangs upon the high crags, where something strange and more beautiful and more full of wonder than your deepest dreams waits for you, beyond that next turn of the canyon walls. Thank you. Thank you. Mark was also instrumental in some work in Utah, and I know that Juan Palma has a few things he'd also like to say to Linda and the family that are gathered here, so I'm going to turn it over to Juan.
Here in Utah, we want to thank Mark, through you, to the family, on behalf of Utah BLM, the Utah State Office, as well as the Monticello Field Office. As you know, Mark leaves a tremendous legacy behind along Indian Creek in the Monticello Field Office. We want to congratulate you, the family of Mark, for allowing us to recognize him in this way. Mark leaves a long-standing partnership with the Rocky Mountain Field Institute and the BLM, and we want you to know, Mrs. Hess, that Mark will leave a long-standing legacy with us. His efforts will not go unnoticed, and we will continue to honor Mark's throughout our time here in Utah. Thank you for allowing us to honor him in this way. Thank you so much. Back to you, Marlo.
Thanks, Ruth, and thank you, Julie. And also thank you, Juan, for those additional thoughts on a very deserving award. Now to the Atlantic coast at Jupiter High School in Jupiter, Florida, where State Director John Roos and Field Manager Bruce Dawson are standing by with two special presentations. John and Bruce.
Good afternoon from Jupiter, Florida. As Marlo said, we are inside the studio at Jupiter High School, and I got to tell you, it's quite a school. So we're pretty proud to be here. This year, our Southeastern States Field Office and Eastern States BLM are fortunate to have two award winners for this year's Making a Difference National Volunteer Awards. Our first winner selected for their outstanding achievement is Dr. Jack Hillman. Dr. Hillman is a local legend. He has a very impressive resume, and he's been an outstanding volunteer for several years. He and his wife, Liz, conducted monthly surveys at Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse Outstanding Natural Area for many years. They initially focused their documentation on bird use, but over the years they extended that to vertebrates, invertebrates, flowering and non-flowering plants, and lichens. And with their efforts, they expanded the species count found here at our outstanding natural area to 224 species to date. Dr. Hillman has organized his field notes. He's performed difficult species identifications. He's organized and maintained sites and the extensive species list. He's compiled a photo database which will become readily available for references to be used by the outstanding natural area visitors into the future. The information and data that he has collected will help us and become some of the basis for our future management of this area. And it will provide tools to help us as we look to expand the environmental education program and the public outreach efforts for the Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse Outstanding Natural Area. Today, accepting the award for Dr. Hillman, who is away on a trip to Iceland, is Bruce Dawson, our Southeastern States Field Manager. Thanks, Bruce. Our second award goes to a youth group. It is part of the new youth category. And as you can see, we're lucky to have a group of our outstanding students with us today. These students use and enjoy the Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse Outstanding Natural Area as their outdoor classroom, as was mentioned by the Secretary of Interior. Not only is Jupiter High School an outstanding and impressive school, the students from the Environmental Research and Field Studies Academy have committed more than 10,000 hours of volunteer service over the past few years. And I need to tell you that they have one of the advisors and mentors to this program is named Neil White. Neil is also a former Making a Difference Volunteer Award winner. So I want to make sure that you understand that this is a program that's been ongoing for a while, and we've seen a lot of benefit to BLM from it. I think that shows the strength of this Environmental Research and Field Study Academy. This is a program that provides hands-on experience in a living environment. Some of the accomplishments of the Academy to date include exotic plant removals, general tract cleanup, reintroduction of native plant species, ongoing tidal wetlands construction project, tortoise burrow monitoring, planting of over 10,000 mangrove seedlings, long-term monitoring plots have been installed. The Academy is making a difference in the lives of high school students, and they in turn are making a difference in their community. BLM is happy and proud to provide the little patch of green as an outdoor classroom, and that the youth always have a place to learn and play. We are truly honored to present this award to the Jupiter Environmental Research and Field Studies Academy. Today we're going to make the presentation to Phil Weinrich. He's one of the longtime teachers here at Jupiter, and He's also soon to retire, but as you can see behind us, that these students are very fortunate to have had he as part of the team that's provided the opportunities here through this academy, and we're very thankful and proud to present this award to you, Phil.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, one of the great things about being an American is that we've got all these fabulous public lands that we own. More places than any of these kids will ever get to in their lives. Managed by the Bureau of Land Management, by the National Park Service, the Fish and Wildlife Refuges, all of those kinds of things, plus our local public lands. Well, with ownership comes stewardship. And we try to inculcate in these students an ethic of taking care of that you own. And so working on the public land sites, we just figure we're doing our job. And the fact that we're doing it well enough to receive this recognition, very gratifying. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, we certainly want to close here from Florida with a thank you to not only the high school and the students and the faculty, but we also have a representative from the town of Jupiter here. It's a great partnership that we have here, great staff working for BLM. So thank you all for the work that you have done and will do in the future. And with that, we're going to go back to Marlo in Phoenix. Thank you.
Thank you, John and Bruce. Those students are awesome. And thanks for sharing Dr. Hellman's contributions. Next, we're going to head to Montana, where BLM State Director Jamie Connell is with another special group of citizens that have helped BLM in many ways. Jamie?
Thank you, Marlo. I'm here in Billings, Montana with a large group of folks, not all of whom you can see, but I have two very special leaders from the Pompey's Pillar Friends group that has been around here in Montana, Dakotas longer than Pompey's Pillar National Monument's been around. And in fact, back in the late 90s, when the land that, on this parcel of land that's not far from Billings, just on the Yellowstone River and near the interstate actually, became available for sale, it was local community members, like the individuals here and the folks that you can't see off camera, who came together and worked with the BLM to say that this is an area that really needs to be protected. It's a place that has a huge amount of history and culture, a great opportunity for education for both youth and visitors passing through this area, and we're very proud to be a part of it, and certainly proud to be working with this organization that has been in place for more than 25 years. I'll speak a little bit to the work that's been accomplished here just in recent years. Since the monument was designated in 2001, the Friends of the Monument have become an extremely active group. We have more than 40 current members of the volunteer team who put forth more than 30,000 hours in 2013. Some of those hours include many of the things that our other presenters have talked about during this presentation. I think I'm most proud of the fact that our volunteer group stacked sandbags and protected the Pompey's Pillar site from washing away more than once. But certainly in 2011, we had a significant flood event, which many of the folks from BLM have seen those pictures. And the area was protected both by stacking of sandbags and folks moving paperwork, getting it up off the ground, making sure that none of the historic items would be lost. It was a really, really big deal. And if it hadn't been for the volunteers, our handful of permanent employees that have responsibilities out there certainly couldn't have handled it on their own. I have a couple of individuals here who are stepping up and standing up for the larger group. I have Mr. Jonathan Peart, we just call him Jonathan here, who's the executive director for the group. And we have Hank Deming, who is the chairman of the board of directors. And they're going to be accepting this award on behalf of our all of the volunteers that make up the Friends of the Pompey's Pillar team. We have cake, we have people, we're going to have music, we're going to have a great party here as soon as the TV show is over. But I would like to present on behalf of the folks here at the BLM an award that please will help you to understand just how much across the entire Bureau we appreciate all of your efforts. the work that's been done by our team of volunteers there, we couldn't even keep the doors open, much less bring in more than 2,000 students last year that visited, 30,000 members of the public that came and visited. And unfortunately, we also had a rather devastating, well, let's just say law-breaking event that occurred at Pompey's Pillar last year. And, you know, I was telling the folks here earlier today that it's one thing to have someone with a BLM uniform or certainly a law enforcement badge stand up and say that someone broke the law and it's a bad idea to do vandalism at a natural public site and to do damage to a historic site that's been around and is important to this nation. It means one thing when we say it as BLM employees, but when a group of volunteers, people have put their life and passion and their public service in a volunteer way to provide for the protection of that area, for you to stand up and speak on behalf of the American people to say that that's just not the right thing to do and that those folks should be ashamed of themselves, certainly I think had a whole lot more meaning. So I want to thank you for stepping up and making the voice of the American people known at how important these kinds of locations are. So that said, I'm going to present the first award, which comes from our director. You guys want to stand up? This comes from our director, Neil Cornsey. Goes out to the entire Pompey's Pillar team. And if you would accept this on behalf of our agency, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we got our heads cut off. Maybe we should sit back down. All right. I have Jeff Kitchens here, who's the manager of Pompey's Pillar. That we have another item that we'd like to present to your team. Is Jeff back there? Sorry, you guys.
There he is.
Oh, cool. Bring it over this way if you don't mind so we can.
Oh my God.
It's really, really cool, you guys.
Oh, that is cool.
So I'm going to bring it up and put it in the camera so you guys can see it. It says, okay, is this working? Well, you guys can't read it, but it's, oh yeah, you can. Okay, clearly I wasn't a trained actress. All right, BLM Lifetime Achievement Volunteer Award presented to the Friends of Pompey's Pillar. Thank you for 25 years of service from 1989 to 2014. You definitely make a difference. So
that is nice.
Thank you very much. And we'll turn it over to these gentlemen to see if there's anything they'd like to add.
On behalf of the Friends of Pompey's Pillar, we thank the BLM for this prestigious award. It's a tribute to the many, many individuals who have volunteered to help preserve and protect Pompey's Pillar over the years. Some of them are with us today, some couldn't be here, some have passed on, but it's a real tribute to these folks.
Tell them why they can't be here.
Well, there's two reasons. Some have passed away, but we also have 180 children out at Pompey's Pillar National Monument today, and we're lucky to have Jeff Kitchens, the monument manager, with us because I'm sure he's just sitting in his chair thinking, I should be out there, I should be out there. But Pompey's Pillar is what it is today because of all the volunteers. Friends of Pompey's Pillar predates the management by the Bureau of Land Management. It started as the Committee for the Preservation of Pompey's Pillar when it was in private hands, as Jamie said. And this group of individuals has worked so hard and so diligently to preserve the last physical remaining evidence of the Lewis and Clark expedition. And we're very proud of this national monument, and we work hard to preserve it, and we thank you for this award. And we also are very grateful for the partnership and relationship we have with the Bureau of Land Management, specifically and especially Jeff Kitchens, the National Monument Manager. He makes my life so much easier, and we talk, we make things happen in a positive way, and so we're very grateful for the relationship we have with you and also with Jeff. And so we thank you for this award.
I'd just like to add my thanks to Jeff Kitchens for nominating Friends of Pompey's Pillar for this award, and accept the award as a tribute to all of the supporters, past and present, of Pompey's Pillar, and especially to people that have served on the board in prior years, but most especially to all the volunteers that contribute their time and talent to preserving and educating about Pompey's Pillar National Monument.
Thanks very much. I appreciate all your help, and everyone else who's here in the room, some of whom have been volunteering with the group for more than 25 years. So thanks very much, and we will turn it back to Marla.
Thanks, Jamie, and thanks to another great Friends of group. We always appreciate having good friends. From coast to coast, we go today heading west to Portland, Oregon, where DSD Jody Will is standing by with two very deserving award recipients. Jody?
It is my honor today to honor Floyd and Opal Jensen, who are our campground hosts at our Fisherman Bend campground near Salem, Oregon. And I'll just say a little bit about them and then tell a little story about the first time I met them, and they don't even remember. But anyway, they live in Merced, California during the off season, but during the summer season they live with us at Fisherman's Bend Campground, where they have volunteered. This is their 12th year, but they are 13-year volunteers with BLM. It's their 12th year at Fisherman's Bend, and we are so happy to have them here with us. Their daily jobs include preparing and maintaining the area. They are the face of BLM, where they greet our visitors with a warm welcome. They help folks check in and check out. They deliver firewood. I can see Floyd's muscles from delivering firewood there. Yeah. They have the thankless job of cleaning the restrooms, collecting litter, and they always keep our roadways clear of debris. They have been so good at what they do that they also help us train our new volunteers. And over the course of their seasons as BLM volunteers, they have contributed 17,050 hours of volunteer service, valued at over $370,000 to the BLM. And this great team is still going. Last year it was rumored that they were going to retire, and the BLM staff was so glad to see them back again this year. And their positive approach, professionalism, friendly nature, and their can-do attitude have enhanced the visitor experiences and elevated the BLM in the eyes of the local community. As if that weren't enough, each year the Jensens make a 1,300-mile round trip from Merced to Fisherman's Bend back at their own expense. And I'll just tell a quick story. I had the opportunity to be on details, the district manager in Salem, for 2 months, 2 years ago. And we were gearing up for the summer season, and I had the opportunity to visit. And there was a lot of humming and everything going on, and everyone said, well, you just ask Floyd and Opal. They know where everything is, and they know how everything works, and they know how it all works, the whole program works. So we just really, really appreciate you. And we have family and friends here. It's a true testament to your commitment to BLM, and we are so honored to have you be the face of BLM for our campers at Fisherman's Bend.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would like to present you with an award on behalf of the agency for your lifetime achievement as volunteers for the BLM.
Thank you.
Now it's your opportunity to say something.
I want to thank all the BLM employees from Portland for the warm welcome. I want to thank John and Bill for supporting us. I want to thank the Grants, Jay and Nancy, Ron and Marge, and my daughter who came up from California. But we really wish Jay had called us earlier. We love this type of work, and we want to come back another year if our health lets us. And another thing, we do have a famous gentleman with us, our new manager, and we love him. He's great as long as he does what we tell him.
It didn't take Steve long to know who really runs the show there, huh?
Yeah, we're so proud of these two. All the staff at Fisherman Bend, we're just really proud of working with these two.
It was so easy putting this nomination together because they've done so much. It was just a really easy task. I couldn't make stuff up this good.
Well, great. We really appreciate all you've done for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Marlo.
Jody, it's great to see Floyd and Opal recognized for their substantial volunteer contributions to BLM Oregon over so many years. And finally, let's go to Salt Lake City, where Utah State Director Juan Palma is with our BLM Employee Volunteer Award winner for 2014. Juan?
Thank you, Marlo. It is a great pleasure for me to do this presentation to a wonderful employee, the employee category. Along with me is also our Deputy State Director for Resources, Shelley Smith, under which Rob works under that program. Rob has been doing a lot of work for a lot of years, but since 2009, Rob has mentored many students. Almost every one of those students has been a volunteer first. And then Rob has worked with those student volunteers to convert them into either a STEP program or to convert them to a Conservation Corps intern program to the American Conservation Experience Youth Organization. The students work exclusively with Rob by assisting him with visual inventory work for the Kanab Field Office, the Monticello Field Office, Litchfield Field Office, Cedar City Field Office, and the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. Under Rob's supervision, they enter all of the field data into the new National GIS database, which includes digitizing maps and also creating the visibility analysis. By using students, volunteers, Rob has been able to save the BLM, just in one project alone, about $100,000. That a great savings, Rob. Thank you so much. Rob's reputation for providing excellent training and skills is widely recognized in the private sector as well. In fact, 2 of his students were even offered full-time positions with the private industry before their internship at the BLM was even completed. Rob has made it a personal goal to provide a positive experience to his students, because he began his career with the BLM at the Utah State Office as a student intern himself. While he attended Utah State University, Rob feels personally responsible for lending a hand to as many students as he can to repay the mentorship and confidence that former BLM employees gave him. He spends many hours strengthening the BLM Utah partnership with the State University by speaking in classes and meeting with professors to explain the BLM's mission and role, as well as the opportunities available to students at the BLM. Rob embodies the best qualities of a volunteer supervisor. He is a mentor, he is a coach, he is a leader. He truly continues to make a difference and is well-deserved a recognition for his ongoing efforts with BLM Utah. For these reasons, we'd like to present Rob with this award here in a moment. Rob, you guys stand up for me? Wow. So Rob, from Neil Corsi, our director of the BLM, this is our 2014 National Volunteer Award presentation to Rob Sweeten for making a difference on the public lands. Rob, you really do make a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would like to thank the state office and those that nominated me. It is truly a pleasure to work with interns and volunteers. There's nothing more invigorating than coming to work with the youth that I get to work with, and to see them succeed and to see them tackle the challenges that we place before them. So I'm just really appreciative of this, and I really appreciate everyone that I work with here in the state office and throughout the state of Utah. Thank you.
Marlo, back to you.
Thank you, Juan, and thanks, Rob, for all your contributions to the agency. Now, to close things out, let's go back to Chris McAleer in Washington, D.C. for some final thoughts. Chris?
Well, thank you, Marlo. And truly inspirational stories. I mean, with over 1 million hours of volunteer service, we only heard some of those stories. And it truly does warm my heart and make me proud to be part of this organization, to have volunteers like you out there. So congratulations to all the 2014 Volunteer Award winners. You truly have made a difference. And just so we know, DVDs will be available, and we'll be sending them out to the award winners. We'll be sending them out to the states that have joined us today. The event will be rehosted on internet, and as the on-demand video becomes available, we'll get an email out to folks so that you can watch it once again. So finally, we want to extend our thanks to the National Training Center for making this production possible. And that wraps it up from here in Washington. Thank you all.
Thanks, Chris. We'll close with one last look at our award winners. So long from Phoenix, Arizona.
This broadcast has been a production of the BLM National Training Center.